Alright, so when it comes to monster taming games that are new and upcoming, we oftentimes think about games like Cassette Beasts or Palworld or Lumentel or whatever really cool looking game that has caught our attention. Now that being said, it's really easy to focus on the games that have already made their way to the public eye and to sort of forget about those that, while not showcased publicly yet, are in fact coming, and when they do, they'll be pretty damn hype. Now you might be wondering what I'm even talking about, and today's video is going to be going over 5 monster taming games that we currently don't have available for public viewing and that we don't have any gameplay or anything like that for, but based on the studios developing these games, should definitely be taken seriously. These aren't random people making random promises and pictures and saying they're going to come out with a game. These are actual studios that have confirmed in some capacity new monster taming projects, and that's what we're going to be getting into. I believe that some of these projects could change the entire landscape of how we view any given period of time when it comes to upcoming monster taming titles. So with that, I won't hold you guys anymore. Make sure to sit back, relax, and I'll explain. Number 1, Nexomon 3. Alright, so now I think you guys know what I'm getting at. There is no official footage of Nexomon 3, however, it has been officially confirmed both in the epilogue of Nexomon Extinction and on the official Nexomon Discord server, where they showcase this image indicating that the next project is in the works. I don't think I have to tell any Nexomon fan why this is significant. Basically, we're looking at another story-driven turn-based experience that will likely be full of fun and interesting characters and an epic story. Furthermore, we do have some information about the game. For example, the Nexomon developer at one point was trying to gauge people's interest and thoughts about a new type system that would work basically like on affinities. We also know that the game will likely take place a millennia after Extinction, since in the epilogue they do state that the story of Omni-Sun and Vados is sort of a legend of sorts, and the two beasts still exist as protectors. But other than that, we don't know a whole lot. We haven't received any gameplay just yet, but based on how Nexomon Extinction was and how it was revealed, we could easily receive some gameplay and then find out the game's coming out a few months later. I wouldn't rule anything out just because of the lack of public reveal. Furthermore, they did reveal the Abyssals update a bit early, and people unfortunately were borderline harassing the developers about that free DLC update, which might mean that they wouldn't want to show anything off until Nexomon 3 is near completion, and honestly, I can't say I blame them. Some people just gotta ruin it for the rest of us. Anyways, since 2014, with the release of Micromon, we have seen a Nexomon-based installment every 3 years, with Nexomon 1 in 2017, then Nexomon Extinction in 2020. So if they were to follow that pattern, we could see it in 2023, but this is also just speculation. It could very well come out in 2024 or 2025. Honestly, we have so many games coming out in 2023, it's not a big deal if it comes out in 2024 or beyond. Number 2, evocreo 2. Now, speaking of sequels, evocreo 2 is another game which I believe was originally slated for 2020 but has undergone a few delays, but officially is coming out this year, and this is backed by a roadmap that the developers recently put together, which we did discuss in this video linked below. Now, with that being said, we have kind of an interesting dynamic here, because Micromon, which was the first game that was sort of in the Nexomon universe, if you would, was one of the few mobile games alongside evocreo 1 back before the big boom in the genre, and were still considered very notable Pokemon-like games for mobile. Essentially, evocreo is much like Nexomon in a lot of aspects. It's a story-driven Pokemon-like RPG, and presumably the sequel will be similar. Also, if it wasn't already obvious, I am using gameplay footage from the prequels of these games because, like the whole premise of this video, we don't have gameplay footage just yet. That being said, I do look forward to actually experiencing the original game because I haven't played it just yet, leading up to the launch of the sequel, so stay tuned because we're going to do a let's play of both games sort of back to back, and all of the games on this list will also happen to be titles that I plan on making a ton of guides and breakdowns for, so maybe subscribe if you're not already. Number 3, Monster Sanctuary's successor. Okay, so unlike the previous two games, the successor to Monster Sanctuary, the monster taming Metroidvania RPG that you're seeing on screen right now, this title is actually going to be a completely standalone title, hence me using the term successor. It's the next game from the studio, but will not be part of the Monster Sanctuary universe or IP. Now, that being said, after they come out with this game, they might make a Monster Sanctuary 2, but we have no official statement on that just yet. But anyways, the successor to Monster Sanctuary is going to be a 3-on-3 turn-based battling game, much like Monster Sanctuary, but in this case, it is supposed to be a roguelike title, which I'm still excited for because I know the Monster Sanctuary devs have had a keen eye for quality, and while I'm not the biggest enjoyer of roguelikes, I enjoy them, but not to the extent of the people that like to put hundreds of hours into them or anything. I think this is going to be something pretty big for the monster taming roguelike scene because, like I said, Monster Sanctuary is very polished. and I'd assume their next project would be too. So yeah, I'd still recommend giving it a shot, but ultimately we're gonna have to see what it looks like. And they did tease the upcoming title a little bit in the Monster Taming Direct, where they basically said, oh, let's talk about it. Oh wait, no, we can't. But hopefully we do get some more information in the future, and who knows, maybe that'll be present at a Monster Taming Direct. I hope so. Number 4, Voidling Wrangler. Now this one might have you shaking your head and wondering what I'm even talking about, because Voidling Wrangler is a game that kind of peeked its head out a little bit, but never really ended up revealing anything publicly. However, I was able to see the trailer for the game, but I am under a strict NDA, so I can't really talk about it beyond the fact that it looked really good, and apparently the game is looking even better now. I was debating including this on the list because of how little I can really say, but I recently reached out to the developers to ask how things were going and if they were interested in submitting anything for the Monster Taming Direct. And honestly, I wasn't even sure if the project was still going on or if it had been canceled or whatever, but from the looks of it, they're really excited about it and things are still chugging along. And I know you guys are gonna hate me for having this on the list because I think I'm kind of like blue balling you and it's gonna have you scratching your heads a little bit, but all I can really show off is this teaser that they posted in their Discord server that honestly doesn't say much. But if you guys have been following me for a while and trust my taste, I don't think I've steered you guys in the wrong direction. We might have some different opinions here and there in what games we enjoy, but y'all know I'm about these high quality games, and just trust me on this one. I think it looks really good. If the game looks as good as I saw it a couple years ago, even the same, let alone better, I think you guys will be really hyped for it, and it could have massive implications on the genre. I will leave their Discord server linked below if you want to check it out, but I can't really say much. Number 5, Coromon 2. Okay, before I hear the people screeching in the comments, how are they going to develop Coromon 2 and mobile's not out? Okay, as far as I know, Coromon 2 hasn't actually started development just yet. It's just planned at a conceptual level. And given the fact that it's being developed by the developers of Coromon, this is one of those conceptual games that I will definitely take seriously. A couple of things to note is that even though the first Coromon took a long time to initially put out, now they have the engine together in order to make a sequel. All they have to really do is add Coromon, change up the maps, add some new story, and while obviously it's not as easy as I'm making that sound right now, it's definitely something that'll be a faster process than making a game from the ground up. The retro pixel art style doesn't really need to change since it's meant to portray that retro style, and it does a very good job of it in my opinion, so it's not like they have to upgrade to 3D or anything like that. And I don't know if the Coromon devs are watching, but please keep your games in pixel art. The animated pixel art sprites in Coromon are amazing, but what we do know about the game is that it was teased in the epilogue of the original Coromon, where the professor essentially said that they're working on a way to build a ship to let them go to space to help the Wubian home planet and possibly save their world. There's also a lot of implications that go with Coromon being a space monster taming game, and essentially I'm 1000% for it. I made an entire video discussing about some of the possibilities and implications of a space-related sequel, so definitely check that out. I'm pretty proud of the video. Anyways, all of that being said, those were 5 monster taming games we haven't seen just yet, but should most definitely be keeping an eye on. 4 of these are from very well-established development teams, so it's a no-brainer there, and you guys are just gonna have to trust me with that Voidling Wrangler spot on this list. I do look forward to the day that we do finally get an official reveal for that game. All that being said, if you do want to stay up to date on that or any of these upcoming games, definitely subscribe to my channel for daily monster taming videos. You can check out my Twitter, Discord, and Patreon, all links below. Special thanks to the patrons, especially Jim Hamilton, Dro Ghost, Dark Persona, and Exodus, and I'll see you next time. Peace.